Yeah, hit the likes and subs. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they're in full coat mode right now. That's right.
It's the freestyle pharaoh in the Candy Canary Camaro. They wanna see me under the thumb, pulling shots on raw. I step back, push me on the elevate. The security guard spectates.
Balenci bacalavas with the Hermes handkerchiefs. Winnipeg glaciers dripping lava on the laser disc. True religion, denim slinging venom.
11 feet glass, the great taste was remarkable. Butterscotch babes, valet, won the massaging them. Carmen San Diego, where's my serotonin? I'm a stressed student Vega, like it's doing yoga. You're now doing poker with the codeine cobra. Grip, it's the herb.
Margella Masonist, blues like Trisetsky. Keep a honey bun low, Debbie's and Giuseppe's. Whip ambidextrous, 41 my lefty. Sorry Dr. Umar, they might catch me with a Becky. Apple on my eyes, took a bite of Apollonia. Larry Fitzgerald, 100 yards to Arizona. New York City staple, but the place they California. Walter White wizard, crib smelling like ammonia. Militated militant, I'm strapped to Macedonia. Tapioca pudding, stab fires look like boulders.
Collecting dead presidents, spent on Egyptian white gold to embellish my wrist. Hennessy flights in a limousine, got the long trunk like an elephant. Even my crip homies know that I done bled for this. Pissy staircase selling medicine hits. Cuddy put it in they nasal till they barely feel a sweat drip. Seen death stencils at the chest meet. I be pillow talking till it's time to really let your chest speak. Ambidextrous, Jimmy Jump, graham cracker seats, interior Lexus. At the bottom of this bottle found a message I think. The wise guys ignore the best advice. The best advice I ever took was never tell them twice. Remember sleeping on the Greyhound just to make a play. Got around a couple states before I got to state my name. Razor blade out the horse's mouth. Got my hand duct taped to this 40 ounce and I can't pour it out. My dead homies cover more ground than y'all. You motherfuckers ain't richer than me either, lest we count it wrong. Swear I really hate the sound of y'all songs. Been knocking down them M1s while y'all just bitching about them foul calls. Straight up and down, man.
Well, welcome to the show, everyone. God bless. Thank you for being here. We got a great show lined up for you. Even better than the show is the crowd. Wow, look at this great crowd. We got Slow Boy, Whiteboard, and OTW News 33333333. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. OTW, what a surprise. Wow, since I've been here, wow, what a surprise. My last show really popped off. A lot of people liked it. White Wizards. Some people thought it was racist. No, it's just a reference to Lord of the Rings. It's not a big deal. If you don't know who the White Wizards are, then it's not a big, don't even think about it. I was surprised, dude. I almost took down that stream, but, people liked it. So I left it up and, yeah. Thank you for everyone who even listens to my stuff. Appreciate it quite a bit. So that was surprising. What was most surprising was this past Friday I went to Chili's, dude. I went to Chili's for a nice family dinner. And the previous on Thursday, dude. Like I said, if you go to my community post, dude, you can see what I wrote, dude. I shared some information. I said, dude, there are some streamers out there I respect, and they recently have been talking smack on Chili's, dude, and its patrons. So I made a post. I said, dude, I went to Chili's and I had an amazing dinner, dude. I'm a proud Chili's patron. Okay, if you're wondering what Chili's patron looks like, dude, it looks like me. Okay. Now I've talked about other Chili's patrons and I've admonished them. Maybe I've maybe made fun of a few Chili's patrons. So, but that's every restaurant, right? Anybody could be really made fun of. But I was shocked. Let's just put it lightly, dude. I was shocked at the pushback. Some people really liked Chili's, some people really didn't. There were, and this was surprising, 14 comments. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, and a lot of heat. A lot of heat, a lot of hate. Let's just check. Somebody did my community post where I said I'm a proud Chili's patron. Someone did a puke face. Oh, they said sick. They said, and then somebody else said, where is it? Oh, we had a slow boy whiteboard. Yeah, it's slop. But where else can you watch TV from 6 different angles and eat an appetizer sampler as a meal and not feel ashamed? Okay, slow boy whiteboard. I don't know what you did to EBT, but he's bothered with you, and I've been dying to find out, like, what the hell did you do? Apparently it has to do with Maryland and a voice call. That's some lore I have yet to dig up. But I can't believe you, I mean, when was the last time you went to Chili's? Not everything's microwaved. Sure, a quarter of the menu, maybe half of the menu is microwaved. But if you go to a Chili's burger, think about this. You get a Chili's burger, drink, salad, $14, dude. $14. That's crazy. You know how much a burger costs at McDonald's? Let's just look at McDonald's prices. I could go to Chili's, and I mean, you're supposed to tip, but you don't really have to. You don't really have, but so it's $13 plus a tip. How much is if I ordered? I mean, it's cheaper. Eating at Chili's is cheaper than door dashing McDonald's. Put that in your mind and think about it. Put that in your mind and think about it. Chili's is cheaper than McDonald's if you DoorDash McDonald's. Our menu. How much is a Big Meal? Or Big Mac, whatever. Extra value meals. If I order an extra value meal, a Big Mac meal, you can build your own. It doesn't tell me the price. That's absurd. How much is a Big Mac meal? This kills the stream, but I don't care. How much is a Big Mac? A point will be made. A Big Mac meal is $11.50. Think about this, dude. When you go to Chili's and you order, dude, and their cheeseburgers are good. I hate saying, maybe it's just the one I go to, but good. It is a good bacon cheeseburger. I was like, holy smokes. Okay. Dude, OTW's over here. He says, and it's actually good. Yeah, he's right. He's right. So you go to Chili's, dude. I'm not sponsored, but soon, once Chili's finds out that I do enjoy it, and I'm a micro streamer, influencer, what do they call those? Not really important, but there's about 5 people who listen to me. Once they find that out, dude, they're going to reach out. I'm going to be sponsored soon. But think about that, dude. For like $2 more, you can enjoy a sit-down restaurant. And if you're a Chili's member, you get free chips and salsa. So you can get chips and salsa, salad, okay, soda, okay, French fries, and a better cheeseburger for $3 more. Chili's is way better. Chili's and McDonald's, they're basically the same. If you don't know, you don't know. And the kids' meals are basically the same prices. Dude, think about that. Dude, we live in a world where a sit-down restaurant, and dude, the service at my Chili's that I went to, exceptional. Phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. Maybe they think I'm a regular. I'm a regular there. I'm not a regular. I go there about once a month. And this, just so, I'm gonna defend this Chili's till I die. You know what I mean? At least until they switch it up. Because there's bad restaurants out there. You know what I mean? I've been to restaurants where you just can feel the tension between the work crew, and they don't like each other. You're like, ooh, this, just bad vibes. Everyone's having a bad day. Nobody likes being there. The restaurants run poorly. The manager's shitty. The chefs, speaks a quarter English. you've been to those places and you've immediately, like, it's a chakra, you sense it with your chakras. You're like, you walk in, you're like, oh no. It's like when you walk into one of those little pet stores that's not a Petco, and you walk into, we have some of these in Utah, and they are chakra knockers. You walk into the pet store, immediately you're assaulted by a strong humidity and odor. It's like a wall. You walk in, boom, and you immediately know there's a lot of depression in this room, and it's not coming from a human, okay? It's coming from lizards, small animals, and fish, and other little creatures, spiders sometimes dogs. It's so depressing going into a small pet store. It's the most depressing thing. I can't say I do it, but it drives me nuts. I did it one time. Once I was I did it. Last time I went to a small pet store was maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. I won't do it again. Why wouldn't you just go back into the Chili's to use oh, are you talking to somebody else? Last time I went to Chili's, I got diarrhea so bad. When we got to the parking lot, I had to run to the Wendy's across the street to use the bathroom. That's not you eating at Chili's. Chili's doesn't go through your body in a half an hour. That's what you ate last time, silly. That's what you ate last time, buddy boo. Don't blame that on Chili's. And you know what I mean? Chili's is probably like every restaurant. It's place to place. You know what I mean? In Utah, we have top tier Chili's and we have top tier Olive Garden. Dude, the craziest thing is though, I went to the dude, I'm so ashamed of myself. I also went to Olive Garden recently. Oh, dude, those are like my two. They're not my go-tos, but that's like in Utah, Chili's and Olive Garden, dude. If you live in Utah County, and you got a large family, dude, you're going to Chili's, you're going to Olive Garden, you're going to Brick Oven Pizza, if you know where that is. P.F. Chang's is a little expensive. Fuck, dude, I did go to Olive Garden recently too. Oh, dude, dude, first of all, Chili's, people say white people don't have culture. They've never been to a Chili's and they've never been to an Italian Denny's. But the waitress, the waiter, the server, I knew, and nothing's more awkward than when you know a waiter or server. And I almost didn't say anything, but I was like, oh, if I don't say anything, they might spit in my food, or they might, I was like, oh shit, I know this person, and it's so embarrassing. Not for that. Just cause, like, at the moment, I'm like, I leaned over. I'm like, I talked to I'm with my wife. I say, oh hey, I know them. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I kind of went to school with them in junior high. Like, well, why don't you say hi? I'm like, I don't want to. What if they recognize me and made it a point to not address me, and I'm making it a point to address me, and they just want me to ignore them, and they want to ignore me. They don't want to make a big deal out of it. So I eventually said, hey, I did it so awkward. I'm like, hey, I know you. Like, you do? I'm like, yeah, we went to school together. Did you go to so-and-so? Like, yeah. Then I said my name. I'm Provo. Like, oh my gosh. Yep, that's me. Oh wow. And then, you know what? I was so grateful I did. They gave me a friends and family discount because I'm their friend. And so that was a good experience, man. But Chili's and Italian, those are my stomping grounds, okay? I won't stand for slander. And I was telling, what I was getting to is in Utah, we have high quality Denny's, Italian Denny's, Olive Garden, AKA. We have the highest quality Italian Denny's, and we have the highest quality Chili's. It's not like your local Chili's or your local Denny's where people don't want to be there when they work. At our Chili's and at our Olive Garden, the workers like to be there. You could tell. And I'll tell you this, I wouldn't go to an Italian Denny's. I wouldn't go to an Olive Garden Or Chili's, if I went in there, I'm like, oh, this waiter or waitress doesn't want to be here. Oh, this quality sucks. I don't go back to a restaurant or an establishment if I get a hint of depression. If I even, bro, I walk out. If I walk in and I notice immediately, like, oh, this waiter or this waitress is having a bad day, dude, I'm leaving. I'm taking my family and I'm walking out of the door. I'm not here for your bad day. Okay, I'm not doing that. Because if you're having a bad day, the sous chef's having a bad day, or the line cook, or the head cook, everyone's. If you're a waiter and you're having a bad day, dude, you're rubbing that energy off of everyone, and I ain't dealing with it. Okay. And so, honestly, if there was like an Olympics for what's the best run Americana restaurants or Anytown America restaurants, and you had like each state competing, Utah would win every time. And the reason why, we got servers and waiters who are hungry to get money. You know what I mean? They want to make it. And I think it's our demographics too, to be honest. Well, I won't say what I'm thinking, but it's the demographics that makes our serving staff better. And which is funny, dude. Like, you know what? Like, I'd way rather people who are racist. I think racist people might want like a person of color to do shit for them. Not me, dude. I want a white server, dude. And that might be racist, but that's true, dude. I mean, I'll take a black one, but I went to like a Benihana's, which was crazy, and I had a black server, and I felt like they didn't even know what the fuck they were doing, but they got the job because of DEI. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. I'm just being honest. And I said something, and they're like, "Oh, yeah." It just everything took longer, and it might have been because it was busy, and I shared my last Benihana's experience. It was a while ago, but dude, what am I just talking about? This is the restaurant episode. Jeez, dude. But I had you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I think real racist people always pick a person of color to serve them. Not me. Dude, if I can, dude, I'm gonna have a white person serve me. And that might be racist in and of itself. I think black people like having white people serve them too. And is it because the service is better? I haven't, to be honest. I need to go to an Atlanta. I need to go to a Washington, D.C., where it's primarily black, and see what the type of service is there. When I get just to see the experience. Just to feel the experience. I've been to Washington, D.C. before, but, that was when I was younger. I didn't have a chance to go to a restaurant. I stayed at like the hotel because it was safer. What's the chat say? We got Buddy Boo in here. What are they saying? I swear I went through my body like 10 minutes. I don't believe you. Dude, don't slander Chili's with that. There's no blooming onions at Chili's, dude. I've never had. You're thinking of Outback Steakhouse. Are you even from America, Buddy Boo? Last time I ate Olive Garden, there was so much sodium in their food, my joints were aching the next. How old are you, Buddy Boo? You as old as me? I didn't even think about joints and aching and sodium. Oh my goodness. I don't just want white servers. I want everyone white. Jeez, that's racist over there. Is this the Satellite Man stream? No, but I do love the Satellite Man, dude. I hope he gets what's owed to him. Good to see you, Dr. Crispy Johnson. I got really good service from a black waiter at Red Lobster once. Gave him an $80 tip. Dang, the bill was like $400 though. Dang. That's crazy. I haven't been to a Red Lobster yet, but I've heard good things and I've heard negative things. But I want to try Red Lobster, dude. I used to not eat seafood, but now I do eat seafood occasionally. You know what I mean? I like lobster. I used to not. In his 60s. Okay. Buddy Boo's in his 60s. I don't believe it, but maybe you're telling the truth. So where are we at? I'm just saying Utah has the best. And I was thinking about this in general. Our founding fathers. You ever meet someone who does this? Our founding fathers and mothers. They include women too in that. I like it. I like the inclusivity. But I'm only talking about our founding fathers right now. Our founding fathers, they primarily identified with their state over their country. You know what I mean? They were Americans, let's say, but you know, they were Virginians first. They were Carolinians. They were Georgians. Or I don't even know if Georgia was there at that point, but they were Vermonters. They were Mainers. Name a couple more. They were Pennsylvanians. They were all those things first. You know what I mean? They were Virginians. I don't even think there was a West Virginia in the beginning. We know that, right? But they identified with their state. And that's where I am right now, dude. I identify with my state more than my country sometimes. And I wish other people would. You know what I mean? I really love my state of Utah. I just love it so much, man. And I know I can understand why other people love their states. And I want to know if you guys like your states. Let me know in the chat or in the comments. You don't have to dox yourself. Just tell me you love your state. If you want to say what state you love or you identify with, go ahead and list it. But you know what? I think Utah's the best. And I wish we had some type of like competition between the states to endear our population to loyalty. I'm deeply loyal to Utah. And that, it's weird. Like, would I die for America? Probably not in a war. You know what I mean? But would if Utah went to war, I might have to think about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, I do love this state. It is the best state until I remember it's run by the United Nations, and the New World Order. Then I'm like, never mind. It's been captured. But I wish we could get back to that where people start identifying with their state and have loyalty to their state than America. Because right now, I being loyal to America is good. But one thing I did feel pride about. I was feeling good about this. I was walking down my neighborhood, dude, and there was just American flags. I was like, God, that feels good. You know what I mean? Just American flags. That's where I live. I live in a place. I could show you a video, but it'd be like doxing myself. It was viral on Twitter. The video was viral on Twitter during the pandemic of Utah. And it was a neighborhood block party. I think it was like in 2022. And it's like, this is what Utah's like during the pandemic. And it was during the 4th of July. And in my neighborhood, there's this road they close off, and they have like a bubble machine. They have all types of things, but it's Americana. It is America, okay? Utah is America. You can leave your bike outside. As long as you don't live in Salt Lake, you can leave your bike in your front yard. You're good, dude. I'm back online now. That was unfortunate. I walked past like 3 abandoned scooters, and I was like, this is a nice scooter some kid left here. I want to take it and just like get pulled by my dog the rest of the way. But I didn't steal the scooter. But there's a part of me that really wanted to, and I understand how other people feel when they don't have something cool like a nice scooter. Because there's a little bit of a scooter rage. And this happened when I was young, dude. Everyone had like these cool, what did they call it? What kind of scooters did they have? You can leave your tricycle on the lawn, Crispy. What if you don't have a bike? Yeah, you can leave your tricycle. There you go. I love my state of awareness. That works too. I'm a hooser through and through. All right, we got a hooser. No seafood for you. It's all right, dude. Maybe you're allergic. But, and I felt the temptation to steal. But then I'm like, this is some poor kid's bike or scooter. And that happens all the time, dude. And Utah is so fucking dope. We have like neighborhood activities. We have neighborhood, like, just this happened last week, dude. Not everybody, but like each person in the neighborhood picked like something. Some people did salsa, some people did lemonade, but everybody went out of their house. They set up a little stand, and they all like shared with the community their whatever they made or whatever they provided. I was like, dude, that is so dope. This doesn't happen anywhere else in America, man. No, if it does, let me know. If you got any type of competition with Utah, let me know, because I might be like, yo, as soon as Utah's really taken over, I might move to your state. And I got upset yesterday because I'm driving and I see in front of me a minivan and the license plate's from Oregon. I'm like, damn it, dude. It keeps getting worse for Utah too. People keep moving here because they find out about it. They find out about it's the last place you can really live like it's the 90s. You can live in a safe community. You can live where your kids are outside playing and having fun, right? You know, I have a friend who's in his neighborhood. There are over, and this is a big neighborhood, there are like over, I can't remember the exact number, but it's around 300 children, which is crazy. Which is crazy to think about, right? I want to say it's probably 150 to 300 kids. And that's like, that's between, you know, I'd say really young to teenagers. Just tons and tons of kids, and they're running around the neighborhood. They're on their fucking motorcycle bikes, their e-bikes, which are all the rage, which really fucking piss me off, dude. When I see these kids, it's actually quiet. I can't even make the noise. It's kind of silent, but it's a e-motorbike, and it pisses me off. I didn't have that cool shit when I was young. You know, but you know, everywhere, dude, these kids are they're all doing shit, and makes me excited for school to start again, because I'm sick of these kids running roughshod all over the place. But you know, Utah is getting worse and worse and worse. Anywhere you go from Provo all the way to northern Utah County, which is around Lehigh, which is called the Point of the Mountain, they are building and building and building. And I keep asking myself, who the fuck is living here? Who's moving here? There's too many people. You know what I mean? There are too many people. And I went to I went to the local swimming pool. Oh, dude, what's up, Insane Wheels? That's my newsman right there, dude. That's my news guy, dude. You guys need a newsman? Check out Insane Wheels. I just pop him on in the morning, boom, and I'm caught up with the world's madness, as he says, dude. And I don't have to like it, but I like his stream. Don't Utah need more diversity and inclusion? No, we're getting it. We're getting it. I can buy all my groceries on my way home from work simply by stopping in people's driveway and putting cash in a box and taking whatever I want, bread, eggs. Okay, slow boy, you could stop bragging about where you live. I'm bragging about where I live, okay? This isn't about you and how cool where you live is. You live, don't dox yourself, but wherever you live is absolutely cool. But I bet where you live, there's no replacement level population. You probably live in Boomerville. You're a boomer. Come on now. Freaking bragging. I could do all my grocery shopping. Jeez, dude. Freaking bragger. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Everybody's moving here. And just to be honest, dude, I went to the local swimming pool yesterday. And it's called the Provo Rec Center. And it's a nice rec center. It's a nice swimming pool. And I go there early in the morning. I try to be the first person there because, to be honest, everyone's peeing in the pool. We all know that. We all know everyone's peeing in the pool, dude. And I don't like it. But our rec centers we have quality recreation centers here in Provo. You can be jealous about it. Look it up, dude. You're going to be jealous when you see the rec center. It is phenomenal. We got nice basketball courts. We got a nice swimming pool. We do have because there's so many families here, we have a family changing area, which is interesting because sometimes I walk, you'll have to just see it for yourself. But, I there's some times where I've been like, who's this weirdo in the family changing area? You got no family, you're by yourself, dude. Go someplace else. But there was a couple moments where I was swimming, and as it got more crowded, dude, I felt so uncomfortable because there's a lazy river, dude. And you just feel the warm patch of water in the lazy river, and you're like, God, I am so grossed out right now, dude. You feel disgusted. And you look around and the kids are swimming and they're splashing and you're just shaking your head like, oh no, this is the worst, dude. But, children don't mind it. That's why you got to go to the local pool early. And speaking of diversity, we have about the right ratio in Provo of, I think it's like, there was 100 people there maybe, and there was one black family. I was like, that's nice, but it must be weird. I almost felt like we needed more black people in Provo, to be honest, because there was only one black family there. And I was like, dude, it'd be nice if they could look around and see some other people of color. You know what I mean? Because they're all alone. I thought about that. I'm like, how would I feel if I lived in a place and I was like the only white guy there? How I'd feel? I'd say, I need to move. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. I would say, I need to get out of here as soon as possible, dude. The only white, dude, that's crazy though. If there's a black person in an all white neighborhood, affluent. If there's a white person in an all black neighborhood, poverty. But there was a moment in my head yesterday while I was swimming and this wonderful black family is there. And I was like, dude, what if, and I was just thinking like, dude, how does it feel like as a black person in Utah when you see the other black family and you just you give a little head nod, like, what's up, dude? How's it going? It's just us here. But there are there were Mexicans and other quote unquote people of color. So, you know what I mean? It wasn't just whites only. There was some Hispanics. But the local pool, dude, you got to hit up the local pool at least once every summer, depending on where you live. Dude, I have seen some of these videos of local pools and areas being taken over all over the world, dude, from Europe to America. And the truth is, dude, you got to move. Some people just got to move, get away from those areas. You got to live in high quality places. It's ultimately true, dude. What's up, Sweeter? Good to see ya. We got Melaforda. Good to see you as well. Virtue signaling for L-Tech. No, it's not an L-Tech. Oh my gosh. What's up, Capricorn? I can't believe you say that. Oh, it's so boy. Come on now. But I'm just saying, dude. Virtue signaling. No, it was an honest thought I had because I realized they must feel some type of way when they look around. They must feel like, oh shit, dude, there are so many white people here. Must feel safe. That's the other thing I thought. They must feel so safe because everyone in Utah, for the most part, is really nice and really kind. There are, of course, racist people everywhere. But I haven't encountered too many racist people in Utah. Most everybody's so overwhelmingly concerned about their image that they're overly nice. You know what I mean? The only time I think there's racism in Utah is with like teenagers and they're being edgy or edgelording, as they say, and like in a Nick Fuentes way, and they want to be some type of way. But Utah's changing, dude. They're building so much out here, and things are moving fast. Like I went to Costco and I saw two women with a hijab. And I never would have seen any hijabs at a Costco growing up. You know what I mean? And now I'm seeing hijabs. I'm seeing hijabs. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. What's a moldy apple? And then, I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh man, we got hijabs here now at Costco. This is great. Utah's moving so fast. Utah reminds me of, like, if you watch old propaganda or old movies from the 90s of people in California, California is portrayed primarily white and surfer culture. And, dude, California in the 90s and 80s, white Americana peak. You know what I mean? That is the land that's the California I want to live in. I want to live in like Three Ninjas. What's another, Beverly Hills Cop? Any of these any of these movies from the 90s or 80s that portray California and the families who live there, or even think about Goonies. You think about Goonies and that kind of community, I want to live in that. You know what I mean? Like, damn. But then, Oregon's fucked now. California's fucked. And they don't have that type of community anymore. Utah has that, and it's being replaced so fast. And I'll be honest, dude, I feel grateful. I'm in the last gasps of whatever Utah used to be, currently is, and is dying. You know what I mean? And I feel grateful about that. And that's why we have a nice Chili's. You know what I mean? We actually have servers who want to work at a Chili's. Other people don't have that. And I think most of the time when people have bad experiences at Chili's, it's the establishment that needs to be shut down. Okay? It's the establishment. A lot of people can't even wrap their head around a quality Chili's. Dude, come to Utah. Specifically Utah Valley. Come to Utah Valley and try our Chili's. Try our Italian Denny's, a.k.a., Olive Garden. You're going to be floored, dude. You're going to love the quality of food. I've never, no one's ever been disappointed at a Chili's in Utah Valley. Okay, everyone loves it. How do I know that? It's always busy. Yeah, I bet if I go to some of your guys' Chili's, I can get a seat immediately. You know what I mean? If I go to some of your guys' Olive Garden, I could walk right in. You know what I mean? I could walk right in and they'll sit me down. Not where I live, dude. There's a waiting list, buddy. You want to come to the Olive Garden where I go? That's going to be a half an hour wait. That's going to be 15 minutes, pal. We're packed. You ever been to a packed Olive Garden? Probably not. You ever been to a packed Chili's? Doubt it, dude. I doubt it. You ever look around and slow boy whiteboards over your 6 TVs? There's only about 4 and nobody even looks at them, okay? They're having family time. And if they are looking at screens, it's a screen in their hand. I'm telling you, dude, we do it different here. We do it different here. We got quality Chili's. And I recommended an Applebee's. I haven't been to an Applebee's in over 10 years. But the last time I went to an Applebee's, it was quality, okay? And they had karaoke, and it was a blast. I was in my early 20s, and I loved the Applebee's, the neighborhood bar and grill, dude. It was awesome. I loved Applebee's the last time I went there. I'm not going there again unless the wait for Chili's is over an hour. Then I will go to an Applebee's, but not until then, okay? And someone says, I got terrible taste in restaurants. Well, I live in Anytown, America, okay? Where here's the thing, dude. I'm not going to a high-quality restaurant and paying $20 for a cheeseburger and fries. Get out of here, dude. I'm going to Chili's paying $13.99 for a side salad, for a Coke Zero. Even though I don't drink soda, they give it to you for free. So, I get a Coke Zero, okay? You know what I mean? I get a Coke Zero, side salad, and the cheeseburger. And it's delicious, dude. So good. $13, dude. $13.99. Unbelievable. You can't beat that, dude. You guys, terrible taste in restaurants. What restaurants you guys go to, huh? Do you guys have quality restaurants with fair prices? I don't, dude. I do live in Anytown, America, where unfortunately, dude, there are like these little boutique restaurants where like they do things a little bit differently, but you go there with the family, you're looking like at $140, $130 restaurant bill. Dude, when I go to the Chili's, when I go to the Olive Garden, it's like $70 for 5 people. You can't beat that, dude. You can't beat that. And I'm not ashamed. I won't be shamed into my enjoyment of liking the Chili's and I'm standing up for it. Dude, I saw all the pushback I got on my community post. I'm here to tell you, I'm not ashamed of my enjoyment of Chili's, dude. I love it, okay? And I love Olive Garden too, man. It's fun. It's a nice place, dude. It's nostalgic for me. Someone said it was nostalgic. Chili's was nostalgic for them because that's where they went when they were growing up. Dude, me too, okay? I like these places, dude. That's all I'm saying. And you guys take it or leave it, dude. Take it or leave it, dude. I'm not, sometimes I go to like a sushi restaurant, but then again, dude, it's always whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm never really getting sushi. I'm just getting something with shrimp inside of it, hoping it's not radioactive. How are you getting out of there that cheap? Are they adults eating off the kids' menu? I just told you how cheap it is, dude. $13.99 for a cheeseburger. The kids' meals are like $7. And you can split the food with your kids too, dude. I'm kind of that guy too. I'm like, hey, you know, I cut, dude. I cut corners, okay. But it is like $70. When was last, dude? Slow boy. You don't even know how good it is at Chili's. You haven't been there, dude. Prices are affordable, bud. You can eat free at Moldy Pub when that exists. Oh, hey, I appreciate that, dude. I like a good pub. When I lived in Oregon, there was a bunch of local breweries, and that's where I used to eat. You know, I used to go to local breweries, get a nice local beer, get whatever they had, dude. And I loved that, dude. I loved that experience when I was younger. And, you know, I never became a beer snob. People, you know, I remember when the whole micro beer, the beer thing kind of was peaking. That was like late 2010s. And beer was super popular. Like, oh, what are you, an IPA guy? What do you got? A light beer guy? What kind of beer guy? Dude, to be honest, I just liked beer, all right? Any kind of beer. I don't give a shit. That's how I remember they, what kind of beer you like? All of them. What do you mean, what kind of beer do I like? Oh, you like dark beer? Do you like light beer? Do you like, what do you like? Shit, just pour me a glass. Fuck. You know, beer, have you ever had beer and ice? I've tried that. Not too bad, but I saw a recent article about that. I'm like, dude, why is this even an article? I've tried it. It's nothing to write home about. I've had wine and ice. Nothing to write home about. You can eat. Maybe you have better quality people working there than on the East Coast. Sounds like better quality places there, because that's what I'm saying, Sam. We got the best servers. We got the best waiters here in Utah. Only hipsters eat at breweries. Well, that was me, dude. I was a hipster, man. I loved the breweries. In Oregon, there was a time where I lived in Oregon. There was there was Gilgamesh. If you know in Oregon, there was Gilgamesh, Santiam, there's like 4 breweries within 2 miles of where I lived, 4 or more. And I was like, holy shit. So it was a good time, dude. And yes, you must have missed my rant earlier. We got the best servers. We got the best waiters. Come on down to Utah for a vacation and try one of our local Chili's. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Dude, talking about Chili's for 20 minutes. Ooh. What else is going on in my life? Beer and ice, you heathen. Try it. I'm just saying, it's not too bad. Quality control sipping. There's a lot of good things to say about Chili's. And any town in America, but it is true, man. It depends where you live. Some people don't want to work. And the weirdest thing, speaking of like people who work, there's at my Hobby Lobby, dude, there's like butch lesbians who run it. And I'm so confused by that because it's a Christian store. And like, I'm not making assumptions. You know a lesbian when you see one? You know what I mean? Especially the butch kind. Because they got the haircut. They got just the whole style. I'm like, dude, what? Was it the health benefits that drew you to working at Hobby Lobby? What is it? Let me know. But I just thought, I was thinking about that reason. Why are there so many lesbians at my Hobby Lobby? Do lesbians like crafting? I've never really been friends or met a lesbian, I don't think. That's like another thing. I got no gay friends, lesbian friends, or people of color friends. In my life, dude, all my friends are white and heterosexual. There might be a few closeted gays, but, you know, that's the thing I realized between the friend group I grew up with, dude. I counted it out. There was maybe like 10 of us. I'm like, statistically, one of you guys has got to be a closeted gay. But nobody's been gay. So I'm still waiting for somebody, because sometimes that takes time in Utah. So in Utah, what happens is people get the family, they get the kids, then once they've done the obligatory, or they've done their obligations of having a family, then they come out and they're like, you know what? Gave you kids, mom and dad. You're a grandpa and grandma now. I'm done doing this. I'm actually gay. And then they go on about their day. I've seen that so many times, dude. At least 3 or 4. I've seen in my personal life. I can count on my hand at least twice. I've seen people get married, people have kids, people be gay. Um, and the 2 times in my, the people that I knew that I grew up with, I was like, no way, you were a good actor. Holy shit, I had no clue you were gay. I had no idea. You fooled us all, dude. The best actors. That's where people are like, oh, gays. I think it's unequivocally true. And I'm not being homophobic. I just think in general, gays are some of the least trustworthy people in the world because they're good liars, or they've been lying a long time. And some people say gay's a choice. I think there are some people I know who are born gay. Some people are born gay. But I think like, as far as I'm saying, most gays, you always got a grain of salt. Just can't really trust them. You know what I mean? Can't really trust. I went to a friend's party one time for 4th of July. Speaking of 4th of July parties, and he had like 5 gays over, and I didn't know they were gays because they were bro gays, which is the craziest group of gays I've ever met. Like they were all bros, and they didn't talk gay. They didn't have that. They were like Mormon bro gays, and I that was an experience that shook me. I'm like, you guys, there's not a hint of gayness coming off any of you. I'll never forget that experience. They could really blend in sometimes. But they're good liars. You know what I mean? They're good deceivers. Gays are they're like snakes who have camouflage, essentially. And, they've been lying for most of their life. Maybe not by choice. Maybe they've just felt culturally compelled to lie. But it's just something to think about. Don't trust the gay. Maybe becoming gay is just a way to get out of the marriage. I never thought about that. Like, oh, I got to get out of this marriage. How am I going to do it? Be gay. Maybe. What's up, the freak? What are you doing here? What's up, Jimbo Khan? We got Veggie and some Reggie. Damn, dude, I like Veggie and some Reggie. Dude, nice picture with the fish, dude. I like that, dude. I like that. I thought that was only on Netflix. Wow, Romans 1 is totally fake and gay. I don't even know what you're referring to. What else has been going on in my life? Dude, I talked about Chili's, talked about gays, talked about people of color. Anything else going on in my life? Oh, dude, I don't know if you guys have this where you're from, but in Utah, they're kind of popular. They're indoor playgrounds. Okay. They're these giant playgrounds. Some of them are quality, some are not quality. But this summer with my kids, I said, we're going to try mostly all of the indoor playgrounds we haven't been to, which takes some time because some of them are like an hour away. So I went to a new one. And it was, first of all, dude, they required grip socks, but I forgot my grip socks, okay? And I didn't want to pay for them either because they were $3, and I said, fuck that. So the person's like, do you have grip socks? If you don't know what grip socks are, socks that can grip the floor. They're all, do you have grip socks? I'm like, yeah, we all got them. Don't worry about me. And I did the jungle gym with my kids as I'm going through it, and holy shit, dangerous without grip socks. Absolutely dangerous. And it made the whole playground experience feel alive for me again. I'm like, this, if you're an adult and you're in a playground and they require grip socks, you should actually take the no grip sock path just to bring back the risk of life. Cause I'm mid-30s and I never felt more grateful I had health insurance, because some of that stuff there was, I mean, without grip socks, dude, you're like, what the hell? This shit's actually dangerous. And I go, speaking of dangerous, I get back with my kids and I tell my wife about the experience. I'm like, oh yeah, it was fun. And she said, where did you go? I told her, and my wife said, "Oh, you went there?" I said, "Yeah, what's wrong with that?" My wife said, "Oh, somebody got shot there." I'm like, "What? What do you mean somebody got shot there?" Apparently, dude, where I went, and here's a news article. I had no clue about this, and it's in the news, so you could. I didn't believe my wife. She's like, "Yeah, it was in the news. You didn't see it?" Why can't? Is this a video? I had no clue about this, and it made me. Oops. This is where I went, and after I'm like, wow, I actually. And let me set the stage real quick, dude. Dude, I'm so pissed off about Streamlabs' new setup, dude. I can't transition, so if I click something, it goes right to it. Pisses me off. Anyways, let me set this up real quick. I'm at this playground and it's empty. Okay, it's a huge indoor playground. Nobody's there. And I'm wondering the whole time, like, why don't people come here? I'm wondering the whole time, why don't people come here? Well, this is why, dude. It's actually a pretty dangerous place.
After shooting at her ex-husband at an indoor playground in Salt Lake City. Police say a man contacted the police about a custody dispute with his ex-wife. He arrived at the Kids Empire in Salt Lake City and found his ex-wife and his 2 children. Police say that while on the phone with them, his ex-wife had drawn a weapon and shot him twice in the chest. He was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Meanwhile, his ex-wife has been booked into the Salt Lake County Jail for attempted murder and domestic violence in the presence of her kids.
I mean, like, wow. Okay, hey, that made me think twice too about being there. I'm like, no wonder nobody showed up here. There was a domestic dispute and an attempted murder at this place. Of course nobody wants to be here. So that was kind of spooky being there after I figured that out, and it made sense why nobody was there, cuz who does that? Who does that? People are crazy, man. People are crazy. So yeah, I went there. What are grip socks? They're socks with rubber on the bottom, so you don't slip and fall. But this playground, you did need grip socks. It made the playground feel alive again to not have them. I'm like, this is actually kind of fun, kind of dangerous, and I liked it. So that's something I did recently. And it's always nice to get a little bit of the culture. And that's what happens when you go to Salt Lake City, okay? People are shooting people at playgrounds in Salt Lake City. I'm telling you, Utah's changed. You can't even go to a playground where there hasn't been an attempted murder. You know what I mean? That guy might be dead. I don't know. He could be dead. I don't know. But, Utah's changing. People are shooting people at playgrounds, I guess. Not cool, man. Ruining the experience and the vibe. That's a haunted playground now. But does anybody else have those indoor playgrounds? Some of them are cool, but in general, dude, playgrounds. I need to go on more hikes. I said I was going to go on hikes this summer. Haven't done that. I need to do that. It's unfortunate, Playgrounds can be difficult, because like other kids are there and they could be assholes. Sucks. I always thought of Utah as a rational place. It is a rational place, dude. Come on. Grip socks. And I like grip socks. What else has been going on in my life, dude, besides going to places where people get shot? That's why you don't go to Salt Lake City, but I had to, you know what I mean? It was a playground me and my family hadn't been to. I'm trying to go to all of them, all the indoor playgrounds. And there's some nice ones. There are some real nice ones, some fun ones. Where else? What else? What else is going on, dude? Ooh, this is the hardest part of the show when I run out of things to talk about. At least I got a great chat, dude. Shout out London, man. Shout out Jimbo Khan. Sam I, Veggie and some Reggie, Maryland, Moldy Apple, Daninsky, dude, so grateful for all of you. A big thank you. What else? Um, um, okay, this is gonna be my last stream maybe for a while. I'll tell you guys that. So this is gonna be my last stream. Probably, I'm not going anywhere, but I'll be a lot more busy. I got a kid due, and within the next little while, I'm gonna add another person to my family, which is always it's always a fun experience. Adding a child to your family, and I've been thinking about it. One reason too that inspired me to have more children. And this sounds crazy. It may sound a little bit racist, but I was in Utah and I saw this Mexican family with 5 kids under 5. Okay. With 5 kids under 5. And I said to myself, if they can do it, if that Mexican family can do it, so can I. There's no reason I can't have 5 kids too. I can't have 6 kids. I can't have 7 kids. I can't have 8 kids. That Mexican family, and I could tell, dude, you could tell right away that they were mesecito. They were real Mexican because they were short and they had no facial hair. Thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate that, everybody. But I saw this Mexican family and they had like 5 kids. I said to myself, oh, I'm having more kids. I'm having twice as many kids. I gotta get my numbers up. How do you come to my country illegally and outproduce me? I know I only finished paying off my last kid, I don't know, like a half a year ago. It took a long time. They get to have as many kids as they want for free, and that pisses me off because the last kid I had cost after insurance like $7,000 or $8,000. Which is stupid. I think if you're an American and you have your child in America, it should be free. It should. When we having our sit down, Provo, shoot, we need to have one soon, London man. We need to have one soon. I mean, you let me know. Do you have it? I don't know. I'm not on Instagram, but I am sometimes. I'll try to. If you have Instagram, message me. That's maybe the best way to contact me. But ever since then, dude, but with this next kid, I'm like, dude, I might be done. Dude, having lots of kids is challenging. And I think there can be a point to where you have too many kids too. I don't know what number that is. But I think 7, 8, or 9, too many. 7, 8, or 9. If you space them out, maybe it's not too many, but it's just like a lot of plates spitting, a lot of mouths to feed. And I remember when, I had 1 or 2 kids, and you could go to a restaurant and you wouldn't really order even a kid's meal. You just order what you get and then share it with them. And it was so much cheaper. Everything becomes more expensive too. Laundry takes twice as long. Everything takes twice as long. So, there's the challenges. But, as a Mormon, I never thought I'd be like, the most Mormon thing about me is my proclivity to reproduce. That's like right up there. That is the most Mormon thing about people. Say, you're not Mormon. I'm like, dude, do you know how many kids I'm having over here? I'm having kids like a real ass Mormon right now, dude. And here's a discussion I got in. It wasn't an argument, but it was a pretty lively discussion I had with my wife and some friends where, within our friend group, there's a big discussion on should the man get his balls snipped or should the woman get her tubes tied? And I am adamant about this that I never want my nutsack nipped or anything like that, dude. I think nipping Oh, what's up, Ben? Good to see you. I think you should never get your nutsack nipped. I think women should get their tubes tied. And then I got argued against by a nurse. And the nurse said, "You know how expensive it is to get your tubes tied and how invasive that procedure is and the cost compared to having a vasectomy?" I was like, whoa, slow down. I don't really care about that. I'm just saying, dude, I think there's something that happens to a man psychologically when they become infertile. You know, I can't prove this, but I think something happens to a man when he knows he's shooting blanks. Like it's just a decrease in confidence. You know what I mean? If you're walking around like, dude, if I even spill some seed around here, gonna get somebody pregnant. I'm potent over here, dude. And to take that away from a man, you know, it's like cutting the balls off a lion. That's why, you know, I had a boy dog, rest in peace, and I never neutered my boy dog, dude. I never got his nutsack nipped or cut off. No way, dude. I wouldn't do it to a boy dog, and I wouldn't do it to myself, dude. I'm not one of these. And I heard recently another streamer, he's getting his nutsack nipped. And I can't believe it. I think people wildly exaggerate how difficult pregnancy. Me too. Pull out. Yeah, maybe pull out. Yeah, I'm not it's not as invasive or painful for a man, but neither one should offend God in that way. Thank you. Oh, well, slow boy. Yeah. Maybe that's the argument to take. Nobody should be offending God. You should just, you know, what do people do? I mean, here's the thing though. If you don't make a decision, well, I guess they call it family planning. If you don't do it, you're just going to have too many kids. And I don't know if that's possible, but I do think it's possible. Dude, I've heard stories from some of my Mormon friends who had 7 siblings or 8 siblings. Dude, I know that's a lot. And they said they didn't like it. They felt like there was never enough time for them, and they were always vying for the parents' attention. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You got like 7 siblings. Yeah, that's rough. You're always trying to get your parents' attention. And that can't be good. You know what I mean? But, you know, you do offend God if you nip your nuts or you get your tubes tied. And right now that's me and my wife are maybe having that discussion soon. And, for me personally, I'd rather have another kid. Like if it comes down to, you know, having another kid or getting your nutsack nipped, I'm having another kid. What's up, Thorpe Tube? Oh, we got abstinence or openness to conceptions. Yeah, abstinence. Oof. Family planning was a scheme. Oh, Jews invented. I had no clue Jews were behind family planning. I think people, I read that. Too much attention is worse. My neighbor had 15 brothers and sisters. I think white people have convinced themselves that having kids is a big burden that requires tons of financial and psychological preparation. Not true. I think you might be right. There is a lot that goes into it, though. I shared this recently. I had a quote for some concrete done a few months ago. The guy never got back to me, but he was a Polynesian guy, and he told me he had 11 brothers and sisters. 11, or he was one of 11, and I couldn't believe that. That's why the LDS Church does so well in the Pacific Islands, by the way. But this guy had 11 brothers or sisters, and I think that's absolutely too many, but maybe not because he did fine. And that's a straight middle finger to the Jews, I guess, if the Jews are the ones convincing people that family planning is what you need to do. But it is like a big part of, you know, the culture, and at least the discussion around my group of friends, because everyone is done having children besides me. Nobody wants more kids. And they've all tapped out. This is the crazy thing. Everyone's tapping out at 3 kids. They're stopping at 3. They're like, that's it for me. I don't want any more. Which is weird, dude. Some people have 1 kid. I have friends who stopped at 2 kids. They had a boy and a girl, and they're like, that's it. No more. Having a kid in your 40s is kind of cool because when you are retired, you still have someone to cut your grass. That's true. Never thought about it that way. Yeah, it's a Mormon thing. And I think Utah is still in a good place too, where, you know, like I said, I have loyalty to my state, and I want my state to be what it was when I was growing up. In order for that to happen, dude, I got to reproduce. Okay, I got to have kids. Because if not, they're gonna keep sending people to Utah. We got a huge Somali population now. We got a rather large Hispanic population now. And I think the LDS culture is actually really strong. Unlike other places, like we have a culture in Utah where I think if you go to where anybody in the chat where you live, your state and your population does not have a culture. Not like we do. Okay. Not like we do in Utah. In Utah, we have a culture. We have an in-group majority, and everybody is in lockstep. Okay. If you don't believe me, just come count the Teslas, come count the minivans. We have an absolute culture here. Now the culture changes depending on where you go. We have Little Somalia and we have West Valley City. But in general, when people move here, I think there's a strong desire to try to fit in with the Mormon population. And essentially what that is keeping up with the Joneses, right? Mormons dress nicely, talk nicely, act nicely. And if you don't do those things, you get excluded. You become ostracized from the group. And I've noticed that most people who move here, they try to fit in because they stand out if they don't. You know what I mean? And I've seen, and I know the Hispanics who have moved here who are from outside of Utah, because they all dress like they're from South LA. They're all wearing black, or they're wearing their gang colors or something like that. And like they just don't fit in. And they walk in groups of 4 or 5 on the sidewalk. And I think to myself, go back to where you're from or try to fit in, please. So, I have hope that if Utah's native population reproduces at a high enough rate, even if they try to replace us, dude, most people will be inclined to try to fit in. Most people will want to absorb into our dominant culture here. And I wonder if you guys have a dominant culture, because I just don't believe other states have what we have in Utah, which is a dying Americana type feel to it. You know what I mean? Utah is little America in America, besides Salt Lake City. Come to Utah if you don't believe me. Come see it for yourself. Come to vacation. Go to Zion National Park. Go to St. George, Utah. Come to Provo, Utah. Come see what I'm talking about. We do have pride flags. Way too many. You go to Salt Lake City, at least in June, and every store had a flag. You're wondering, you're asking yourself, because I was up there in June, and you're wondering, like, why does the dry cleaning place have a pride flag? Like, what, do they really need to do it? Does the dry cleaning place really need to let you know they're cool with the gays? Does every bar, every establishment need a pride flag? Probably not. You know what I mean? Just, it's like, I hate liberal cities. You know what I mean? They just want to let everybody know, hey, we're cool with butt sex. You can come into our establishment. And, whatever, man. But outside of Salt Lake City, dude, trust me, Utah's a great place, conservative place. And anytime I see a pride flag outside of Salt Lake City, I always think to myself, what's going on there? What mental illness are they grappling with? Because if it's not an American flag outside your house, why are you putting that out there? You know what I mean? This is a safe place for gays, trans people. Oops. Why did it do that? Oof, sorry about that. That threw me off. Let's check in with chat. We got LCW in a black dress here. Good to see ya. You guys are having your own. Any more Indians on the beach, Provo? There's no Indians here, dude. I did see a real Native American Indian. But that was interesting to see a real Native American Indian. What was I thinking about? I was thinking, what was it? Just that, damn, I forgot. Who gives a shit? Romney helped destroy my state. I still don't understand how he got over here from Utah. Yeah, I'm glad he left. But what about catchers Mitt Romney? I think Catholicism is the culture in the Northeast. Is it though? It's weird. Catholicism is the culture. Are there still people having large families in that part of the country? I think rainbow flag can be a positive thing. Depends on how it's interpreted. Yeah, that's true. If it's for Noah's Ark, then I'm all in on it. In Florida, we have politically divided counties. Dade, Orange, Brevard are the worst liberal counties in Florida. That's interesting. Utah might be like that pretty soon. It's disgusting the amount of development that's occurred in Utah. Nobody can really put it into, maybe if there's like so I guess I could show you on a map, Utah county map, satellite. Oh, I got to do the Googles. Nobody gives a shit about this, but I'm going to show you anyways, okay? Sorry about it. Just to show you what's happened in Utah. Okay, when I was growing up, When I was growing up, here we have Provo right here. That's where we are, right? Provo. And we have Utah Lake. This part, all of this, Saratoga Springs, Silver Lake, Cedar Pass Ranch, all of this, when I was growing up, was empty, right? So you'd look across the lake and there would be nothing over there. You could stand on this side of the Utah Lake, look over, and it would just be black, darkness. Now they've developed all this. It's crazy. And this is where the data center is too. So we got a huge data center out here. Just in the last 10 years, all of this right over here. And it's happening all over, dude, all over Utah. It's so sad. Cedar Hills, all of this has become developed. This is called the Point of the Mountain. This is a mine. This has all become developed. This is all kind of brand new. All of this is brand new. This is all brand new. These are all things, and these are like apartments. This is Harvest Hills. Where is it? So here's one way. You see this city, Lehi? When I was growing up, this city, Lehi, was thought of like as these people were, what's it called? These people were cowboys, farmers, hicks. Nobody lived in Lehi. Footloose was filmed in Lehi. And all of this was undeveloped, most of it, right? And now they just have built so much. And you could see it, dude. Like, look at this. Just building and building and building. Like, these are apartments or condos. Who the fuck's living here? Sorry for that rant, but Utah's changing fast. Move here if you like it. But it's hard to believe, man. And I don't think any other state is doing, like, if you go to Maine, does Maine have this problem? Does Rhode Island have this problem? Does Connecticut have this problem? Where they're just building and building and building and building, and everyone, I think Florida, that's happening all over Central Florida. Wow. Places that were really country when I was growing up for all apartment complexes. That's crazy, buddy boo. I heard Florida was going through the same thing we are. And I think that's intentional, right? I think these are conservative footholds, and people are, Utah's always been Republican. It won't be Republican in 10 years. Because everyone's moving here and they like what we have, and they're going to bring their shitty Democrat policies with them. And it's absolutely devastating. They're doing the same in Indiana, bringing tons of migrants in from every third world country on earth and putting vinyl villages on the fertile soil. That is wild, dude. I keep asking myself, who is all this for? You look at this. I go back to it, right? I say, who is all this for? It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Just more and more and more. Like this farm, this all used to be farmland. And now it's just development after development after development. You know what I mean? There's more developments. It's crazy. Like, look at all these ones. You know, who is all this for? Look at all these houses. You know, and then more. You can see where they're planning on doing it. And it's not going to stop, dude. That's the craziest thing. It's not going to stop. And it's happening in northern Utah too. And it's happening in southern Utah too. It's happening over here in Santa Quin. So Santa Quin used to be, obviously, look at this, all farm. Santa Quin used to be all farmland. And now these are all new developments over here. You can see the new developments. These are all brand new developments. Apartments. And they're just going to keep building and building and building and building. And it's happening over here. And, dude, everywhere in Utah. These all used to be farms. Right? Payson, all farmland. Used to be all farmland. Payson, look at it now. This is all expansion. All of this is brand new, dude. Every one of these houses probably the last 10 years. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Utah's, as the youth say, I can't wait till they find a new word for cooked. You know, Utah's absolutely fried. So many people are moving here. But, it makes sense. It's happening everywhere else, you know. It is, you can't stop it. I can't stop people from moving here, replacing us, and changing our culture. But it is what it is, dude. And it's not what it's not. Great replacement. Yeah, it's for all the explosive population birth rates. Yeah, well, Utah was the only state above replacement level, and I don't think it is anymore. Utah's maybe below or just at replacement level. My kid went to a school in Heber City, and many of the parents from in-state were concerned with the increase of low-income housing. Oh, yeah, low-income housing. It's all low-income housing. And you're talking about Heber City. Heber City is, it's happening in Heber City, too. This is so crazy. Heber City's amazing. It's an amazing place to live. But Heber City used to be, you could probably, anything that's new development, you can pretty much tell. Like, this is all new development. Look at this. So sick. This is so disgusting. Ugh. These might just be $1 million houses, actually. Heber City has a lot of $1 million houses. But Heber's beautiful. Heber's a beautiful place. Here's Sundance. I like Sundance. Utah's amazing. I don't know where you guys are from, but Utah's the best. And it won't be the best much longer. And you know what? It is like this weird thing to kind of, everything changes. There's nothing you can do about it besides bitch on the internet. And people are just going to keep moving here. And that's all right. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just enjoy what I have left of my great state. But there's really going to be no place left to move. You know what I mean? Where do you go to get that small town American feel where everybody's kind of on the same page? We're all the same group. We're all the same belief system. Now, in Utah, this is happening in Utah too. I forgot to tell you this. We have 2 15-minute cities, and I just found out about this one. I'll show you this, dude. This is frightening, and then I got to end my show. This is this area right here, right next to Utah Lake. This area, this huge little square, that's called Utah City. This is going to be a 15-minute city they're building right here. It's called Utah City. What a great name. So original, so creative. But this right here is it's Geneva. It's a steel mill. And they're going to turn it into a 15-minute city. Bam. It's nuts. This whole area is going to be a 15-minute city. And then the other 15-minute city is where the old prison is. It's right here. This is a 15-minute city they're building right here in Utah. We have 2 15-minute cities. And it's wild to see that happen, right? And I'm actually kind of excited to go to the 15-minute city once it's completed to see what it's like. But we will have 2 of them. We'll have 2 15-minute cities, maybe even more in Utah, that are being designed and implemented within the next 5 years. So I couldn't believe it. I kept seeing these advertisements for come to Utah City, Utah City, Utah City. I'm like, what the hell's Utah City? It's the next 15-minute city. Kind of depressing. Bro Fresh, any new mining permits since Trump? I don't know. There might be. Utah's all about it. Isn't it funny how communist the housing market is? If you are a single mother with 5 baby daddies, you get free rent, but a working couple needs 3 incomes to survive, basically. Oh, Park City's amazing, LCW. It's rich and liberal, but it's amazing. 15-minute cities near a data center, very convenient. Yeah. Is it nice in Utah? I want to move out in Missouri. Yeah, it's very nice. There's plenty of housing now. So if you're worried about housing, we got so much housing in Utah. There's plenty of houses for you to pick from. But I don't know. This is basically me just complaining. And you look at Utah, there is so much space to live. And things will never be how they were. That's why I keep telling people, be grateful right now, dude, because I really do think it's still the golden age of living. It's amazing. It's amazing, depending on where you live. Utah and America, it's a great place to be. And there's still quality people. There's still good neighborhoods, good communities. Enjoy it while you can, because it's going to change. I feel like Utah's going to change faster than I can anticipate, because it's already changed so fast. And people like it here. People want to move here. People want to raise their families here. And you know, can't blame them. You know, people find out about how great Utah is. What are you going to do? Then it's going to be shitty. I think Utah will become California. Essentially, I think people are going to be taxed out of living in most places. It's going to be too crowded. Traffic's going to be horrible. Eventually, you got to find a new place to live. Living anywhere but Florida is risky. Joseph Smith is rolling in his grave. He is. Yeah, but Florida, like some people said, like Florida's already experiencing some of the same things Utah is. And I think it's too bad. I think it's unfortunate, to say the least. But that's the show, folks. I couldn't thank you and everybody who stopped by, spent just a little bit of time with me today. We had a great crowd today. We had awesome people showing up in chat, dude. Super thankful that anybody spends time with me, listens to me rant, rave, and talk ad nauseum. God bless you all. We will see you probably. I'm not, like I said, from here for probably a month or two. I'm going to be pretty busy. So I'll try to, if I can stream, I'll try, give you guys an update on my life. But until then, dude, God bless. Have a great day. Thank you, OTW, Maryland, Slowboy Whiteboard. You tell me. We had the Thorpes in chat, dude. Shout out to the Thorpes. I hear they've been crushing it. What's up, Jackie Fox? We got Steven, Icon David, Jimbo Khan, LCW in the black dress, Sam High, Da Freak. What is Da Freak doing here? Buddy Boo. London Man, dude, absolute icon. He had a great stream the other day with Jay Dreamers. I was like, what? No way. But you are all amazing. We'll see you when I see you. What day is it? Tuesday? Have a great week and weekend. God bless.
the beach, just so I can give a speech. Couple balconies at least, just so I can feel the breeze. Just so I can feel the peace. Blades swing from 7 seas. Sharks made from concrete, sand whiter than some tea. No need to play for keeps, I can't give myself on leads. I ain't always gotta speak, I see peak up in my reach. Need a mention by the beach, might go platinum over peach. Might just both just with the crease, crush kiwi acai. Everything that I need, everything that I want, everything that I need, everything that I want, thing that I need a mention by the beach, just so I can feel at ease, just so I can feel the beat. Need a couple balconies, just so I can feel the breeze. Waves crashing under, waves crashing over me, waves crashing on the beach, just so I can fall asleep. Need a mention by the beach, might go platinum over peach. Might jabos with the crease, just so folks know how I sleep. Fly like linen, foreign sheets, 7 days up out the week. Huskies never need a leash, huskies never need a leash. I don't ever need to speak, you've been talking in my sleep. I've been jumping over jeeps, I've been jumping over sheep. Need a couple balconies, just so I can feel the breeze. Everything that I want, everything that I need, everything that I want, thing that I need a couple balconies, just so I can